Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. We are Group 5 and will present Chapter 5. So this is our team members. General business correspondence consists of 5 subtopics, namely internal correspondence, secretarial and administrative correspondence, meetings documentation, personnel, and last one, reports and proposals. First, internal correspondence. Before email took over, the most common way to communicate with someone inside your own organization was using a memorandum. But these days, email is now the usual method for internal communication. However, some government departments and other organizations were still using memos with printed messages and sometimes enclosed within reusable envelopes. Memos or memorandums serve several purposes: to provide information, to request information, to inform of actions or decisions, and to request actions or decisions. Here is an easy, clear method for displaying internal memos. Tone means the emotional context of your message, the degree of formality or informality you use in your writing, and the attitude towards the topic and the recipient. You should aim to put your message over as concisely as possible, while still being courteous, clear, and correct. The tone you use in your internal correspondence will be a reflection of these 4 issues: your status, the reader's status, your relationship with the reader, and the message you want to give. Never be unsympathetic, condescending, or rude. Always be sincere and clear. This is another message that requires good tone. For above message, consider how staff would feel when reading this message. The tone is very poor. The third paragraph is written purely in passive voice, while below message is much more tactful tone. Use words like unfortunately to soften the tone, and use please when you are asking the reader to do something. Using lists and bullets. Lists can be used in any documents and are often used in internal correspondence too. They are useful to set off important points and ideas. You may choose to display the items using numbers, letters, or bullets. Lists are useful as they help you to organize the thoughts, help focus your readers' attention on important points, help readers find key points, they simplify detailed or complicated topics, they make it easier for readers to skim, and they enhance visual impact too. A message. Some tips here. Prepare your internal correspondence with as much care as external messages. Internal staff are your customers too. Many people mistakenly think that because they are writing to their colleagues, not clients, they can type out internal messages quickly and not bother to proofread. By this action, the reader might have to read the message several times to try to understand it, and the reader could shoot back the message asking for clarification. It is a waste of everyone's time. You need to be accurate so that you can get your message across effectively.
Now, I will present the second part of this chapter, that is secretarial and administrative correspondence. In any organization, the administrative or secretarial staff play an important role. The secretary or personal assistant, often called an executive assistant, will usually deal with lots of correspondence regarding appointments, meetings, interviews, conference, travel, and accommodation. Here, for the invitation letter inviting a speaker to conference, we must present the invitation by stating the details of the event such as name of event, date, time, and location. Mention that the speaker's presence would be an honor to the host. Inform that the speaker that the company will take care of the travel and lodging expenses. Explain a little bit about the purpose of the event. And the last one, request confirmation and details of any equipment needed. This is the example invitation letter inviting a speaker to conference. For formal invitation, use double spacing and center each line. Formal wording beginning with who is extending the invitation. Leave a dot line for the recipient name to be inserted. Mention the function and the venue. Include date and time of the function. The sender address is placed at the bottom left. RSVP is placed at the bottom right together with a reply date. An itinerary gives full details of our journey in order of date. It shows all travel arrangements, accommodation, and appointments. It is usual to use subheadings and columns so that the information is displayed attractively and is easy to refer to. Use plain paper and show the company's name. Include traveler's name, places being visited, and duration of trip. Display all dates as shoulder headings. Use a 3 or 2 column format for ease of reference. Use 24-hour clocks for all times. Reference and date. Very often, secretarial staff have to organize an event like the company's annual dinner and dance. If sponsorship is needed, the secretary may have to write a circular to many organizations asking for contributions. Here is one such letter.
Now, I will present the third part of this chapter, which is meetings documentation. Now, for any meeting to take place in a procedural way, there are few important and necessary documents involved, which is the necessary documents for a meeting are we have notice and agenda, which is the notice. For any meeting to take place in a procedural way, there are few important and necessary documents involved, which is the necessary documents for a meeting are we have notice and agenda, which is the notice and agenda are usually combined in one document. Second, we have minutes of meeting. Minutes are a written record of what took place at the meeting. An accurate written record is essential not only for An accurate written record is essential not only for those who attend the meeting but also for those who are absent. And the last one is type of minute. We have a verbatim minutes, minutes of resolution, and minutes of narration. So these are the comparison between notice and agenda. For notice, notice is a statement about a meeting or an event, while for agenda is a collection of things to be done in a meeting. For the board meetings of company, a notice is issued to all eligible members indicating the venue, date and time of the meeting, while for agenda has a list of topics to be discussed in that meeting. So When you are writing minute meeting, you need to include different kinds of information. Here is a list of what need to be included in effective meeting minutes. Which is first we have date, time and location of meeting. Second, we have the purpose of meeting, name of attendees and those who are unable to attend, agenda items, decision that were made, actions that need to be done, include the deadline and who it was assigned to, and follow-up meeting. So we have three types of minutes, which is first is verbatim minutes. These are used primarily in court reporting where everything needs to be recorded word for word. Second, we have minutes of resolution. In this type of minute, only the resolution passed in the meeting are recorded without any reference to the discussion preceding the resolution. The last one is minutes of mission. These minutes are a concise summary of all the discussion that took place, report received, decisions made, and action to be taken.
I will present for part 19, which is personnel. For style of application, it's better to write a short letter applying for the post and stating that your curriculum vitae or resume is enclosed or attached. Then attach a spread document giving all the relevant detail about personal background, education, qualification and experience. Do not duplicate such information in covering letter. Avoid write a long letter containing lot of information about education, qualification and experience because it can sound rather boastful and it make the information very difficult to find in your cover letter. Application for an advertised post can divide by two, which is application letter and curriculum vitae. A letter of application, also known as a cover letter, is a document sent with your resume to provide additional information on your skill and experience, while curriculum vitae is set all your personal detail together with your education, qualification and working experience. It should be displayed attractively so that all the information can be seen at a glance. It should not extend them more 2 pages and the information should be categorized under heading and column. This is example of sentence that we can use for write a application letter. Next is testimonial. A testimonial is a written recommendation of a person's character and ability written by an employer when an employee leaves their employment. They are volunteer, but if one is written, is useful to include start and finish date of employment, detail of the duty carried out, work attitude and personal qualities, and the last one is a recommendation. This is example of sentence for reference that we can use. Termination of employment. An employer must be able to show that the dismissal was justified by referring to the employee conduct or inability to do the job. The company should always follow their policy and procedure to ensure that they are following statutory guidelines.
For introduction, the ultimate purpose of any report is to provide the foundation for decision to be made and action taken. Some reports contain no more than a simple statement recording an event, a visit, or some circumstances with a note of action taken. Other reports include detailed explanation of facts, conclusion, and perhaps recommendations of action. So, what is the main difference between these two documents? First of all, reports, it contain information about what has happened in the past, while proposal examine what may happen in the future. Secondly, the report aim mainly to provide information, while proposal aim mainly to persuade the reader to make a specific decision. Last but not least, for report, it record objective facts, but